pretty brutal game on the weekend. There's real finals-like intensity to it. How did you and the boys pull up from that one?
Yeah, pulled up all good, mate. It was finals like. That was probably one of our toughest games for the year in terms of on the body. But luckily we got an 8-day break to recover, get an extra couple of days in to recover. So the boys are all good. I think apart from Harry, who had a bit of a run around this morning, we're all sweet.
The big Gov, obviously a lot of attention on him and his thumb. He looked like he's still struggling with it. A bit of training came off with a bit of complaint. How frustrated is he at the moment with a little niggle like that, something so small but that impacts a lot of the stuff you do when it comes to the game?
Yeah, it doesn't help when it's his spoiling hand as well. He's obviously frustrated, but I'm sure he'll train this week, and once again he'll get every opportunity to play and get up for this week, but not too sure yet. It's too early in the week to know how he'll go, but I think it's healing.
Just one more from me on him. I mean, obviously there's you guys got a good break at the moment between games, but with an expected crunches coming down a little bit later, do you think there's perhaps a bit more of a conservative approach that is taken with injuries like this?
Possibly. Gov wants to play every week, so if he's right to go, he'll go. If he's not, he won't. So whether they're taking a more conservative approach, I don't think so. If he's right, he'll play.
It's Justin Chadwick here.
How difficult is it, Dom, with hand injuries? Chatters, I'm on. Sorry. Dom, how difficult is it with hand injury to be able to handling the ball training-wise, all that sort of stuff? How challenging is it to be able to train when you can't use one of the most important elements of the game?
Yeah, I can't really speak from experience. I've never hurt my hand, but it sounds pretty frustrating. It seems like just a finger, but you use it with everything, dropping the ball, marking, spoiling. So it seems only minor, but it does impact a lot of players' games, especially Govs.
I'll jump in this time. Just in terms of Nick Matanui, how good is it just watching him do his ruck taps at the moment? It just seems like he's almost in career best form. Yeah,
unbelievable. I saw all the hard work he put in the last few years to get his body right so that he could play at this level and play well. And, it's a credit to him. His on-field performance is unbelievable at the moment, as you could see, and sitting under his taps each time. Very lucky as a midfield group to be able to do that. So hopefully he can stay fit and healthy and play out the rest of the season.
What are you noticing from other teams in terms of trying to stop his influence? Because I guess they're probably guessing that he's going to win the tap most times now. So what have you noticed at ground level that other teams are trying to do to stop that influence?
Our teams are doing a few things where they send up an extra number to the stoppage, or I think they try running Nick around a fair bit around the ground. But other than that, Nick he doesn't win every tap. So, they still win their fair share.
With your training, Dom, with Nick, being in groups of 8 and the way it's all structured and not a lot of contact drills and things, are you able to work more on the set play scenarios that we've seen you doing so well? And the Josh Kennedy one obviously worked really well the other day. Has that been the hidden element of the benefits of working in a group of 8? You can really technically work through this craft?
Yeah, I think when you work in groups of 8, so we're obviously in our midfield group, you can start to hone in on a lot more of the finer details, I guess, of a stoppage and what we need to do as a midfield group. So I think that's helped in a sense. It helps when all the boys are fit and healthy, and the chemistry, I guess, is good between us midfielders at the moment. Maybe that's because we're just training in groups of 8 together, but it's been good. It's been good.
Is it the best chemistry you've felt with this group, especially with Nick?
Yeah, so far, since TK's arrived and Nick's been fit, and the rest of the midfield group has as well. The chemistry has just slowly developed over pre-season and into this season. We started slowly, but we're building, and hopefully we can keep building.
How does the Premiership Favourites tag sit with you guys?
Whatever. We're not thinking about that at all. We're thinking about Carlton this week and trying to win as many games of footy as we can. So I don't think the boys read into that too much.
It's such a golden run you guys have at home at the moment. How conscious are you that you've really got to make the most of this because who knows what's around the corner?
Yeah, we understand things are going to change heading forward. I think we've got 3 more games here at Optus locked in, and then who knows what happens from there. So we need to start with winning this week and winning as many games as we can, and who knows what the season has left, where we'll be playing. So we've just got to try to get as many wins on the board and put ourselves in a position to play finals.
And you touched on the Blues before. They were amazing for 20 minutes, I guess, and then they fell into a bit of a heap. What have you made of them this season?
Yeah, they started well on the weekend. We saw that. We haven't started looking into the Blues yet. We'll do that tomorrow and Thursday. But yeah, they started well on the weekend. I think they had a win the week before, and they've got some good young talent in that team. So we're going to have to be at our absolute best once again.
Dom, is it the best footy you've seen Nick Nat play?
Yeah, I think since I've been at the club, definitely. I think he had an All-Australian year in 2012. I never got to see him do that. But since I've been at the club, I think, his body's holding up really well and he's playing the best footy I've seen. But he's looking for that consistency throughout a whole season. So hopefully he can do that.
Can I just also ask about the midfield? A couple of years back, you were the unlucky one until Gaffney got suspended because you had so many midfielders and you went through a period of time where you couldn't get a game. This year, all of them still playing. You've added Tim Kelly to the mix. Has it been hard to have so many stars in the one group? Has it taken time to get used to that?
Yeah, it definitely takes time to get used to. I mean, it's a good problem to have for Simo and match committee with having so many great players in the team. But as Simo said in his presser, that a squeeze will be coming at some point. So when that is and who that is, we're yet to find out. But, it's great for match committee to have so many options of players to choose from.
So some of the games you have missed, so Shuey missed a couple, Redden's missed a couple, but the midfield's worked. Do you feel like, I know Simo said it, but do you feel like every week it's like, well, crikey, I have to play well to stay in this combination?
I don't think it's necessarily that. We're a very system-based team, so you go out and you play your role and you do that to the best of your ability. I don't think anybody is going out, sitting there holding on to their spot, going, I need to play well, I'm out of the team. We have very clear focuses as a midfield group before we go into games, and that's all you need to do. And when the squeeze does come, and if it comes, so be it.
Dom, you're coming up against Paddy Cripps this week, who there's been a lot of talk this year around the attention he gets around the stoppages. I think Carlton has sort of flagged with the umpires that he gets sort of pushed around a bit. I know you haven't sort of done your plan for this week, but in the history of coming up against him, how tough is it to stop him and his size around the stoppage?
Yeah, he's a beast around the ball. Everyone knows that. So I'm not sure whether we change what we do because we're coming up against Patrick Cripps in the midfield, or whether we just back our system in and our talent. So we'll work through that throughout the week, but no doubt we've got a tough challenge ahead.
On a lighter side, Dom, who was the best on ground on the weekend? You actually got 3 votes from a couple of radio stations. Nick Nat was all the talk. Who did you think was the best player on the ground?
Oh, I thought Nick was pretty good, to be honest. He gave us mids first look on so many occasions. I thought Josh Kennedy, he stood up late when it counted, TK, Boots, Yowie around the ball. And then our backman also played well. So I think the pleasing thing from the weekend was that we had 22 contributors across the board. They all played their role. So I'm not sure if there was a clear best on ground as you're asking, but it was nice to see a lot of players play their role.
And did JK put his hand up to maybe come into the midfield because he sharked that ball off Nick Nat so well?
Yeah, he wasn't meant to be in the stoppage. He was meant to be on the outside of that stoppage holding balance. So whatever JK says, a set play or whatever, I reckon he's lying to you. He just decided to have a go at it and then come off. Nah, I'm not sure. But JK, I don't think he'll be getting a run in the midfield anytime soon, or there'll be even more of a squeeze coming our way. We've already got too many.
he's answered the critics though, hasn't he? I mean, he's been superb over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he's been training really hard on the track. And, during the shutdown period, he worked hard as well, dropped a few kilos, and he's running sort of better than ever. So it's a credit to him. I think internally we always knew that he was going to have this burst of form because of how hard he's been working. So it's good to see it paying off for him now.
Talked in the past about how a lot of your mates love to bring up the fact that you were taken before Paddy Cripps. Do you feel like you have a point to prove it all whenever you play Carlton?
No, I don't have a point to prove, but yeah, I've got one of my mates who sends me Cripps stats every weekend. So said West Coast could have had him, but it's all for a bit of a laugh. But no, I definitely don't think there's a point to prove it all.